I'm Knit Plan Jess, and welcome to my channel. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoy this, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for your continued support. I hope you enjoy this too. So just a reminder, if you are not subscribed and you want to check out more of my videos and you want to see upcoming videos, don't forget to subscribe so you can find me easily, and you can also click that little notification bell so then that way you can get a notification every time that I get a new or that I release a new video. And also don't forget to like and leave a comment. I just really appreciate your support. So today I'm actually going to show you how I use the Happy Planner for tracking my reading. So I think I was an avid reader when I was younger. I mean, I read a lot. And as I got out of high school, became an adult, my reading definitely declined. I think like in 2019, I probably read maybe one book. One book. In 2020 though, I actually purchased a Kindle. This is just like the very basic paper white Kindle, but this has seriously been life-changing in terms of getting me to read. And I set myself a goal on Goodreads in 2020. This was about the time that COVID started, so we were all home. We couldn't go out. And I wanted to do more reading, so I set myself a Goodreads goal. And I'm going to pull my Kindle for this, or my iPad for this one. So Goodreads is basically an app that I use that I track the books that I read. So it was a reading challenge of 2020. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how I can get to that past reading challenge. But basically, I did this, and I set myself a goal of 24 books. So 2 books a month, that was completely reasonable. And I think I got up to 16. My reading really diminished about July. I wanted to do better for 2021. So I decided to set myself up an actual reading tracker in a calendar and really start documenting the books that I was reading. So reading challenge, I actually set it for 24, and then I surpassed that, and it was only like May or June, so I went ahead and upped it to 50. So here we are, November 13th, and I'm at 49 out of 50 books. I'm actually on book number 50, and I will easily be able to finish it tonight. So now to show you how I track my reading. What I was doing is I was keeping a calendar in my Franken planner. It was just keeping a monthly calendar, usually before the daily section, so in that way I could write in the books. I ended up taking that out of my Franken planner and creating a whole separate reading notebook. So this is January. As you see, I was just using like some little colorful boxes. I wrote when I finished a book, when I started a book, and so on. And then let's go to February. So again, the same thing. I kind of realized that more often than not, I was finishing and starting on the same day, so I kind of became a system. Typically, it's funny, I'm kind of looking at this like, wait a minute, did I start 2 books at the same time? I might have. So typically the finished book would be on the top of the monthly calendar. The book I started would be on the bottom. And then, so I just basically kept using different boxes. I would maybe write down like the books that I wanted to read for that month, or the books that I wanted to like read from start to finish. And then it became just using plain colorful boxes. Sometimes I would decorate. I think more often than not, I would not decorate it. And the boxes that I really found that worked best for me came from the All the Feels book. And it's these little colorful boxes. So they say today was act of kindness. Let's see, me time. And basically what I would do is I would just take one of these boxes, cut off the top, so that way it was just an unlabeled box. This is actually the one that I'm currently working from because this is like 1.5 put together. So yeah, we have when I started, when I finished. Apparently this month I was kind of a little bit backwards because I was put the book I started on the top and the book I finished on the bottom. And then May kind of became this is how I'm doing it every single month. And I do try to kind of use the same colors for the book that I start and the book that I finish. But as you can see, I have it all the way from January through October is completely done. Now, I will admit there have been some months that obviously I'm not reading as many books, but I mean, I'm almost at book 50, so I'm okay to kind of calm down, but I want to see now how many I can go over 50. So as you see, I have not updated anything for November, and I do. I have to do a book that I finished and a book that I started, because then I want to update it with the book once I finish. But one thing that I started doing, using my numbers and letters, I started writing down basically my goal for reading. So I want to finish reading 4 books. That's my goal. So let me kind of show you now. Let's go ahead and update. Actually, before we update November, let me just kind of lead you through the rest of my reading planner. So I also have December in here. That got out of place. I don't know. I haven't set a number goal for December yet, but I will definitely do that. But then I go into a Bujo books to read. And what I've been doing is these are basically books that I've come across that I want to read. And once I read them, I go ahead and I highlight. So I actually have one to highlight. So let me kind of show you. I just take a mild liner. I use either the mild liner brush or I use the regular mild liner highlighters. And I just really gently, because some ink, it really doesn't matter how long that it's been drying for, it can smudge. So yeah, I just highlight it when I'm done. So then that way I know that I'm done with that book and I can be able to move on to another one. These pages right here are basically extra pages for books that I've come across and maybe I need to add it to my books to read. And then at that time, once, basically right here first, and then once I kind of read the summary, see if it's something that I would be interested in, that's when it goes on my books to read. And as you see, I do have this one as well that I actually have another one that I have to highlight. But yeah, so I really, really like the system of writing down the books to read. I will admit I'm not as great as keeping up with this as what I should be. But that's a little bit more Bujo. Here we go. These are books that I've read. So this sheet right here came from the Happy Planner Digital Detox Companion Pack of 2019. It came with 2 of them. So I filled up the majority of this one in 2020, and then I finished it and then filled up this one for 2021. And then I started using the summer reading list that they came out with, I want to say 2020 as well, or 2019. And I really don't like them because I don't like that you can't fit a lot of books in it and they're just not the right size. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan on creating some Bujo sheets that are similar to these ones. And then I might just do like stickers to kind of decorate it. But yeah, so there's that. And then I'm going to just put that in there. I have just in my reading tracker, I just have some dividers. I have some paper because I was trying to decide how I'm going to set up my calendar for next year. And originally what I was thinking is that I would, maybe find like an old 18-month planner on clearance, and just use the 2022 calendar and do something similar to this. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I don't know. I don't want to waste a whole planner for just the months. So my thought is to use some filler paper that I have. So this filler paper, it has dot grid at the top, and then you have dotted lines on like the last quarter of the page. So I figured that this right here would work really well for setting up the calendar. And then I can be able to use the dotted lines to actually be able to like write notes. So if there's books that I want to read, I can, be able to write those down. So yeah, so I think I'm going to do that. And then the rest in here, I just have, like I said, the dividers. I don't really have anything else. I have some other little Bujo stuff, but nothing that's really centered around reading. But anyways, I'm going to basically show you now how I update my calendar when I finish a book. As always, we take the pages off of the discs. That's one reason why I love the disc bound planner system, because I don't like coils. I don't like the rings. I like being able to really easily take the pages out and just take them out to write on, and then just really easily put them back in, because eventually the rings kind of wear down and stuff. And I've noticed the discs don't really do that. They don't really wear down. I mean, the plastic can break if you're not careful, but that's why, like, for the majority of my planners, I use metal. So anyways, let's go. I'm in Goodreads. I'm going to my books. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the book that I need to write in, because the way that I have it set up is my Kindle is connected to Goodreads. So when I am reading a book, I can actually be able to have it update Goodreads when I start it and when I finish it. So let's show for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is one that I finished in November. So I can click on the book, and then I see the add and edit read dates, and that shows me, I really hope that you can see this, by the way. So it shows me that I started it October 15th. I finished it November 3rd. And normally it doesn't take me that long to read a Harry Potter book, but like I said, October was really slow for reading for me. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to lock that down actually. So I finished it November 3rd. That's what I needed. I am going to take, here we go. Let's just go ahead and use this page. I'm going to take one of the black ones, and I'm going to use this to notate that I finished the book. So I'm just trimming off the top of it, and that is going to be for the finished. Going back to the iPad. Now we're going to go to the book, The Proposal, which is another one that I started and finished. This one actually only took me a few days. So this one, I started it on the 3rd and I finished it on the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead, take another one of these grayish boxes. I'm trimming off the top, and I'm gonna, this is the color, I can't talk, this is the color that I'm using for finished. So I finished that on the 7th, and I started that one on the 3rd. So I'm gonna go ahead and use green. One thing that I have noticed is that this is actually a really great way that if you find that you don't use your colorful boxes in like your regular planner spreads, this is a great way to use them up. All right, so I finished Harry Potter. I started the proposal. I finished the proposal on the 7th. And then now I'm going to go to Malibu Rising, which is my current book. And I started that one on the 7th. And I'm not going to do the finished yet because, like, I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and put that I'm going to finish it today. But I don't know. I don't know that that's going to happen. I could very easily fall asleep while reading the book. So taking my pen, I'm using the Muji 0.5. I really like these pens. And all I'm going to do is just write finished and then write start. And I'm just writing it right above the box. So, and then putting like a little arrow. So that way I know. And I'm going to do that for the 7th too. And then I'm actually going to take a smaller pen. Now I'm just using a 0.38 gel pen. This is what I call my Muji wannabe. And I'm going to put in the actual box, like for Harry Potter, I can just put HP and then Goblet of Fire. And then start was the book, The Proposal, which was probably one of my lowest rating books that I have read this year. It was one of the ones that, as much as I liked the idea of the story, the writing I struggled through. And then I started Malibu Rising, which is going to be hands down one of my favorite books of the year. But it's the author, though. The author has written, like, I've read other books from her, and I'm just absolutely captivated by her writing. So there we go. So, like I said, I'm most likely going to finish Malibu Rising today, and then I'll most likely start on my next book on the 14th, because I don't know if I'm going to start on it tonight, if I do finish it tonight. But I will update that once, or at that time. Now, in terms of the actual books, since I have been reading everything on my Kindle, the only books that I've actually gotten from Amazon has been the Harry Potter, and that's only when I can't get it from my library. Basically, and I don't have the app on my iPad, or I would show you there, but basically I use the app Overdrive. I have it connected to my local library using my library card, and I can be able to download Kindle books from there. I'm lucky to have a library that has a huge selection of Kindle books. So I borrow the Kindle book. I usually borrow it for 21 days, even if I don't need it for 21 days. Overdrive is basically connected to Amazon. So in that way I can be able to get the Kindle version. It downloads to my Kindle, and then I can open up here. And then once I'm done with the book, it's really as simple as selecting it and return to public library. This way, I think I have bought maybe like 5 books this year, and they were all like regular hardcover or softcover books that I haven't even read. So I definitely want to read them, but it's just so much easier for me to actually read it on the Kindle, because then I can just lay in bed. I don't have to worry about needing a light, because obviously I get the light from the Kindle, and usually I'm reading books that I can fall asleep during, and then I just wake up the next morning, and if I have time to read, I can easily be able to jump back into the book without having to worry about losing my page. So yeah, the Kindle was definitely like one of the best purchases of 2020. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff. Let's go ahead and put this back into my planner. But I really love the book tracking, or the reading tracker notebook that I put together. I love having everything in one place. And I definitely plan on putting 2022 calendar into this same one. I know that there are sticker books that have the dividers that you can put on the side, so that's what I will do. And I will be updating December with my reading goal. But yeah, after I finish Malibu Rising, I only have one more to meet my goal. But as always, I'm all about beating that goal, so I'll probably try for a 5 and 6, and let's see what happens. So the next video that I make to kind of show you how I track my reading, I will be creating some actual book trackers, some reading lists that are similar to this. So in that way I can be able to update these pages. And yeah, every other reading list page will be a Bujo one that I create. And I will probably have to eventually create more books to read. This one I wasn't super happy with, because some of the books are just like a little bit smaller, and sometimes I can't always fit the title in there, but that's okay. So anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions about how I track my reading, definitely leave me a comment below, and I will see you probably closer to December when I go to set up my December month, and I go to set up a book tracker. I am also thinking about creating like a book tracker for the month, kind of similar to this, and do it by month, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet. So anyways, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a good day. Bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy the next video.